Hello and welcome to week 5 of English 202. This week our focus is going to be on audience analysis, which is an important component of writing for the academic essay, which we've been talking about for the past couple weeks, and you're going to be working on that as part of your career project. So be sure to really look through this lecture and read through it. I know a lot of students print out the printable version of it. It's a Word document. You can take notes, or you can just type on the screen, however you wish. But you're going to want to know the different components of audience analysis for this week's assignments. So, week 5 discussion. Read through here carefully because there's several different steps you're going to need to take before you jump in for the discussion. Okay, so there are 4 different steps. The first thing is you're going to locate an article that it's about a subject that is of interest of you. In today's world, almost everything is online. Newspapers, magazines, and of course you have access to academic articles through the Bryant and Stratton College Virtual Library. You could use that to find an article. So it could be a career issue, which is what I recommend because we're focusing in on your career. And if you find an article that's written about something that you're interested in regarding your career, I think it would be very helpful. Part of that critical thinking that we talked about last week, how it's helpful for your career, that you're thinking critically and be able to do problem solving. So that's what I would highly suggest, is find something to do with your career. You could also pick an academic issue, something to do with college or learning or anything like that, or it could just be a life issue. All right, so you're going to read and analyze the article and identify the audience that the author intended to. Okay, so that's where it's really important that you've already read through the lecture, because being able to identify that is going to be really important, because every audience isn't the same. Take like the example of a children's book. Obviously, the audience is for children, and then you have young adult books. That audience is for a young adult. And the same thing goes for articles that you read. If you read it in the newspaper or in a career journal, if you're in a career field that has an academic journal, most of them do, and you have access to it in the library. So that was going to be your audience. Is it a person that's new to the job? Is it a person that's been on the job for a while? Is it a person that's going to be retiring from that career? So you see all the different types of audiences that could be identified in the article. Okay. So you're going to identify the audience that the author intended, and then what kind of situation might it influence. If it's for new people on the job, maybe they had experienced something as a new person on the job and how they handled that. Okay, so then once you've really read through that article and identified the audience, you're going to evaluate the quality of the writing. Propose how the author might have revised or proofread the article to make it more readable. Was there something about the article that you felt was unclear or needed some additional information, or maybe it was cut short? Okay, so then you're going to come on here to the discussion board and share with us your response to the ideas expressed in the article. And give us a little bit about the article. I don't want to just start talking about the article, but, give us some context, title, who wrote the article, and the audience that you intended, that it was intended to. So give us a little bit of context so we can be able to respond. So did you agree with the article? Did you disagree? Why or why not? Okay, so please post these by Wednesday. That will ensure that you have plenty of time to get your 3 days and 3 participation days, also 3 responses to your classmates. And then, of course, your first post should be 150 words, which is around 5 to 7 pages. Most of you have been doing a really fabulous job with that, and I've been really impressed. Okay, so taking the information about audience analysis a little further, you're going to write a short essay, and it's going to be a persuasive 3-paragraph communication. It's actually going to end up being 4 paragraphs. It says 3 here, but if you read through all of this, It's really going to be 4 paragraphs. Okay. So you're going to read about this. It's flex time. So you're going to pretend that you are identifying how this might work at a place of business, and how would it appeal. So read through there about flex time. So then you're going to pick one of these 4 choices, whether the audience is a large, successful insurance company, a bank branch, a small catering service, or a government agency. So pick one of those 4. That's going to be one of your audiences. So how would you convince whichever of these that you choose that flex time is going to be something that's going to be very helpful for them? Okay, so after you conclude the 3 paragraphs, and you have that last paragraph, that's your 4th paragraph, in which you characterize how you constructed it and how and why you did so that in that way, given the audience that you selected. Okay, so a small catering service is is a huge difference than a government agency. Okay, so 4-paragraph essay about this flex time and thinking about your audience. Okay, the portfolio project, our next step in that is your reflective annotated bibliography. Okay, so you are going to summarize your resources. Okay, so you want to look back here to the portfolio project directions. But if you open this up, what this is it gives you a way to really analyze the resources that you're using. Okay, and remember, we're using APA style. So here are all the different guidelines, but I want to show you what this looks like. Okay, so you have the entry that has all the information in APA formatting. Remember, it isn't just if you use a website, you can't just slap a website on there and say that's the entry, because that's not the entry. So you can see it has the information. What's the title of the website? This is the, since this doesn't have a specific author, it has here what this is about, where it was retrieved from. And then this is the annotated part, a few sentences that talk about how it's going to be helpful or not helpful. You can have a resource and say, I looked at this, it was really too old, it was outdated, it didn't give me enough information. Okay, so you can see the different styles. So this came from an academic journal from accountancy. Here is a handbook for business writing. Okay, and here's a different, this looks like it must have been maybe a book, I think. Okay, so the important components are the entry itself, and then the feedback that you have about this entry. Is it going to be useful for you? Why is it going to be useful? How is it going to be useful? Okay, so here's what it looks like without that, without the summary underneath. Okay, so this is what it'll look like for your actual project, the reference list. But this part, we're doing the annotated part, where you have this part of the summary and how this is going to be helpful or how it's not helpful and why. All right, so then the last thing this week is a reflection, just 150 words about what we have learned so far. What have you learned about academic writing and research? And propose how these experiences will help you be a stronger professional writer in your life and career. So please reach out with any questions. Have a great week, and I will see you in class.